Why do some people think that they can talk to you any kind of way? Let's talk. I am your host, Kim B. Miller, Prince William County, Manassas, and Manassas Park, Virginia, Poet Laureate Emerita, author, speaker, facilitator, spoken word poet, haikuist. Let's get into today's subject. Welcome back. Thank you for those of you who tune in regularly and for the new folks. Let's get into today's subject. This podcast is only 17 minutes. Why 17 minutes? I figure if I can write a haiku in 17 syllables, I should be able to do a podcast in 17 minutes. Let's get into today's subject. And you'll find errors in this. It's live. I'm not re-recording it. I'm not taking out the errors. They are what they are. We're humans. We make mistakes. Why do some people talk to you any kind of way? Well, because pain speaks before logic ever will. Let's say it again. Pain speaks before logic ever will. And people say, hurt people hurt people. Well, people hurt people too. But pain is one of those things that people need a response to. They need to know you heard them. They need to know you understand them. And if they don't feel that they are being understood or heard, they're going to lead with hurt. They're going to lead with pain. They're not trying to be disrespectful. They're trying to get their pain addressed. And sometimes they're trying to get their pain addressed from the person who caused it. Could it be you? Could you be the person who caused it and don't like their response to it? I have a haiku about that haiku. You don't get to determine how someone expresses the pain you caused. Now, just because they're coming at you with pain, it doesn't mean that you were the initiator of it. But let's start off with those of you who are the initiator of it. Stop asking someone to skip over the mistake you made when you highlight theirs. You don't acknowledge that you're wrong. You just skirt around it. I didn't mean it. I ain't really like that. I don't know anything but what exactly you tell me. So if you are wrong, I'm going to need to hear those words. I was wrong. And in a sincere way, bring the same energy you use to disrespect to respect. Don't brush over the apology when you took a year to make the anguish. Months worth of pain, but you want to throw the 2-second apology and it wanted to be accepted. Some people talk to you any kind of way because they're hurting and you're the one who hurt them. Some people talk to you in any kind of way because you allow it. You don't have any borders. You don't have any boundaries. You say you don't like it, but you're not going to say anything because you don't want the other person to feel comfortable, or you're a people pleaser, or I don't feel like rocking the boat. I'll just let it go for the 55th millionth time. Maybe the next time they won't do it. How can someone respect the boundary that you want to enforce? Hey, these are questions for you to answer. Don't blame the messenger. But really, a lot of times an unheard person will speak out harshly, where someone who is appreciated and heard will approach you in a way that both of you feel loved, appreciated, respected. But if every time someone calls you to talk about something going on in their life and it turns into something going on in your life, you don't have any respectable boundaries for what is about them. Every time they call, it has to be about you. Every time something happens, it has to be about you. Or even if you don't make it about you, you bring up, well, quote unquote, you bring up something that was similar that they're going through. Sometimes people just want to vent. They don't want to hear a similar situation from you. They don't want to hear you correct them on what they should or could have done. Sometimes people just want to vent. Don't always correct someone. Now, I do have people in my life, and I'm in theirs, and we are the venters and the correctors. So we listen to the venting and we do the correcting because we see so much greatness in people. But that is an established relationship. Everybody doesn't have that established relationship. Stop acting like you have that sort of relationship with everybody. You don't. Nobody does. And if every time someone vents to you, you're like, well, here's what you did wrong. Did I ask you what I did wrong? Do we have that sort of relationship? And the same for you. You may just want to vent with someone and not hear the 55 solution to what you just said. Sometimes you just want to be heard. And the simple way to do that is, would you mind if I gave you a suggestion? And if the person says no, it's no. It's not you sneaking it in to the conversation. I know y'all. I know y'all. I'm going to sneak my solution into the conversation. This is going to be so perfect. Once they hear it, they'll see why I had to tell them. No, once they hear it, they'll hear disrespect. They won't hear a solution. They will hear disrespect. They'll hear you don't honor me. They'll hear you don't care about me. Your intent is not going to be what's received when they clearly stated what they needed. That's why some people talk to you any kind of way, because that's all you understand. Because they've tried it the other way. They've tried to say, hey, I really care about you and your opinion, but this time I just want to talk for a minute. And you've gone, oh, I'm here for you. And they start talking and they can't get into their third sentence before you start interrupting and saying, you know what I was thinking? Or let me just tell you this little thing right quick. And then you get mad at them when they said, here's the parameters. And again, I'm not saying that every conversation you shouldn't have anything to say. You shouldn't be allowed to talk. You shouldn't be allowed to give any inference. You shouldn't be allowed to give your opinion. That's not what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't play these games with me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those who do this on a consistent basis. There's going to be times you talk to people and you interrupt them and say, I have a similar situation, and it's going to be helpful, not just because you had a similar situation. I know there's a lot of good information a lot of you are giving people, but some of you with certain people, and some of you who do that great with other people, are horrible with other people, and some of you are horrible with everybody. So this, if it doesn't apply, as they say, just let it go. Let it go. It wasn't for you. But if you feel like I'm stepping on your toes, then probably is for you. Because a lot of us have that friend, and if it's not you, self-examine. Because here's where you go, oh, it's not me. Did you take any internal dialogue? Did you check yourself before you said it was not me? Check yourself. And if you really want to know, ask your friends. Oh, you don't really want to know, though. You just want to live in a delusional land where I'm great. I wonder who Kim's talking about. I'm great. I'm not like that. Then talk to your friends and find out if you are. If you are, you're good to go. But then you have to know which friend to ask. You know which friend to ask. You know the one who's going to say yes to everything. That ain't you, or fella, that ain't you, or that ain't you, or blah. You know which one to ask to get that response. And you also know which one to ask to get a truthful response. Get the truthful response. Because if you're consistently causing someone pain, you got a problem. And if you're the person who's consistently receiving that pain and you're staying for it, you have a problem too. Both is about allowance and boundaries. And both sides deserve to have their comfortable level of speaking and being heard. And I know for some of you, well, I've been in this friendship for 20 years. I've been in this friendship since high school. This is the best friend. I get it. But you teach people how to treat you. And if you teach them you'll take anything, then anything is what you'll take. decide who you are and decide who you aren't. And you can change who that is anytime you want. That's the beauty of life. This is your life to live. Yours. Now, if you're a pain dumper, what I mean by a pain dumper, you only call people to dump your pain on, but when they have pain, you can't be bothered, or they have a problem, you can't be bothered, or they need you to hear them out, you can't be bothered. Oh no, you're only the my problem, friend. I'm not here for you. And then you catch your attitude if they're not available. One time you call when they've been there 5,000 times. Like, this person is supposed to be at your beck and call. Is that your friend or your hired assistant? Hired assistant. Because some of y'all treat your friends like your hired assistants. And then when they're busy or have something else to do, here you come with being the tude mountain. Attitude mountain. Here we go. Pain is personal to each person. Even if you know someone very well, what they let out and who they let in is very personal. And I get no one wants to meet the tude mountain, as I call it, or attitude mountain every time they talk to someone. But first thing you got to ask yourself is, do I have any ownership in this pain? No. Okay, they're hurting for someone else or another situation. Okay, now let them talk the vent. Maybe I can see where this pain is coming from. Maybe I'm making this personal and it has nothing to do with me. Maybe not, they're not actually giving me attitude. Maybe I'm perceiving it because they're going through so much pain right now. Their normal work voice or social voice or social mind or social containment of information is not being used. So they're just letting everything out. And maybe if I just back up for a minute, I can see that they're not really giving me two. They're just letting that pain seep out and hoping that someone cares enough to hear them all the way out instead of worrying about how they put it on the platter, how they projected it, how they said it, how they placed it, what words did they use. So and so, no, I don't like curse words. If someone's hurting, can you just let them spew what they need to spew? If 90% of the time they follow your path because they know you don't like curse words and they call you and don't curse, and that one time they call you cursing because they've been through something, let them curse. Don't be so holier than thou you can't let someone's pain seep out the way it needs to. But Kim, nobody needs to curse to speak their pain. That's for them to decide, not you. Plus, a lot of us are learned. Always makes me laugh when I think about this. Learn patterns of behavior. What I mean, if you come from a long line of curses in your house, you may have overcome cursing every single day, but it's still back there going, hi, waiting for you. Hi. So someone may have overcome a lot, but certain times when certain things happen or certain traumas happen in their life, they revert back to old behavior or they revert back to things that sometimes it's just the way they need to express it because that's what happened. Because if someone was standing there screaming at them, cursing, what are they supposed to tell you? She called me Sugar Bunny. And then I said, Mary Frances, don't do that sugary stuff to me. You'd be like, what? What happened? What was said? What did they say? So let them be who they are and let them say what happened, exactly how it happened. Let's not get so caught up in words that we can't feel or hear somebody else's pain the way they need to deliver it. And if you are hurt by something that someone else has said, ask yourself, are you being sensitive to the message or to the person? Because some of us, someone could say A, B, C, D, E, and you'd be like, that's not how the song goes. Yeah. Over critique, over critical. Yeah, some of us will be like, put your own spin on it. Do it your way. And for those of you who haven't been received properly, haiku. And for those you don't know, haiku are 17 syllable poems, original poems, Japanese poetry, 17 syllables only on nature. By the way, there's more than one haiku. That's just the most popular type, the 575. I will be doing non traditional poetry or non traditional haiku, 17 syllables, any subject, haiku. Some of you are blaming yourself for being cut by broken people. Be careful the people you speak to. It's not always you are the one who's wrong. You are the one who did something wrong. You are the one who didn't listen. You are the one who didn't care enough. Sometimes people can't meet you there. Haiku. And I hopefully remember this one correctly because I don't have this one memorized. I'll just say the gist of it. Stop blaming people for not checking on you when they were hurting. You don't know what people are going through. Yet you're blaming someone who didn't pick up the phone or text you or whatever in 4 months. Yet neither did you. Stop blaming folks for stuff you're doing. Pain speaks before logic ever